share, thank you, share something about uh, oneness and unity, because here at the Home of Truth, we do believe in oneness and these spiritual principles that we subscribe to here, that we've crafted and created about oneness. There is only one presence, power, energy, substance, and intelligence that is omnipresent God, supreme, universal, and everlasting. We are each an individualized expression of the one power, which manifests uniquely through each soul as health, supply, wisdom, love, life, truth, beauty, and peace. Because spirit individualizes as each of us, our nature is whole and perfect. So given that we believe in this oneness, that we are one with spirit, that we are each facets of the divine, and given the aspects of diversity that we explored last month and how much value diversity adds to our lives, diversity in between us and diversity within us, as Reverend Jacqueline reminded us last week. The question we want to explore today is, how do we hold both diversity on the one hand and unity on the other within our beloved community? So we're going to open the mic for ideas or thoughts or reflections or even bafflement about this topic. And what I know is that we are a lively congregation with lots of inspiration and contributions to make. So here is that opportunity. Who would like to start us off?
As we've alluded to several times this morning, we are facing times where it's hard to understand what is going on all over the world. And the question always is, but what can I do? I'm just one person. And I spend a lot of time thinking about that because I was a political science major, and governments are near and dear to my heart. But this is bigger. This is existential. And I've decided I'm a seeker and a listener, and I'm going to stand proud in who I am and what I believe in. Having differences and opening to diversity doesn't mean you have to adapt or agree with everything another person says. So I just invite us to keep cool and breathe and listen, and maybe listen for those little nuggets that come out of the mouths of somebody we don't agree with very much. So that's my piece.
Thank you, Barbara.
We just recently had a workshop here that Rita Renault led about listening, compassionate listening. And part of the idea of it is to listen from an open heart. And one of the exercises she had us do, she had us try going both ways. Listen, she called it listening against what the other person said. So either being not interested or actually wanting to counter it, and feel what that felt like. And then to listen from an open heart and from a place of listening for the other person, and really wanting to listen for what deep down are they really saying? What deep down are they really wanting to convey? I know sometimes I get lost. I would call it getting lost in the weeds. I get caught up in some of the details they're talking about. but really to be able to go in and listen with that open-hearted feeling. And I do a practice that I teach here called conscious embodiment. And one of the things that we talk about is that when somebody comes at you with something aggressive or negative or whatever, in conscious embodiment, we always believe it comes back to a wounded place in the heart. But to know that beneath that wounded place is this capacity for love, compassion, wisdom, generosity, peace, that beneath it. And so there's a way to both, to once you understand that, to not have to fight back, not have to defend, and not have to feel, but a way to sort of join with the energy and then invite that person back to their center of oneness by coming back to your own center of oneness. And so there's this way that that conflict energy can get transformed, can be shifted, and so that there can be a sense of the possibility, anyway, of unity. And I think in a spiritual community like ours, there are times when any of us are going to feel, I don't know, for me, it's feeling stressed or low blood sugar or too tired or rushed or whatever, that I'm just not going to have that capacity. And so to have a sense that beneath that, there still is that feeling of unity that can then transform. So to know that that's true for everybody else, so that I don't have to get caught getting combative. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, that's my current idea.
Thank you, Cathy. Who else would like to share? Come on up, Randall. That's totally fine. Take care of yourself.
Okay. Wow, unity, that's a pretty big topic. Indeed. I had a lot of thoughts about that, of course, but I think of first off about like the state of consciousness. There's like a Unitarian kind of awareness that apparently a few humans have attained, like Buddha or Jesus, and supposedly many others. And I imagine I've touched that at times. And even just my ordinary consciousness, there is some kind of unity that puts everything together and helps life make sense, and I can just sometimes I do what I need to do for myself. And there's another kind of unity, which Cathy was talking about it, like a unity of the mind and the heart and the body, which she calls conscious embodiment. And there's a lot of spiritual teachings about embodied consciousness now out there. And that's something that I also work on with, noticing what's alive in me, what, like thoughts that I have that usually are, like you were saying about, I'm tired or stressed or something, they're not so pleasant. And then when I'm, needs are met, I can tend to rest in just sort of a feeling of just ease. And also with like listening, which is another thing I've been working on for many, many years. First with nonviolent communication, which talks about observations, feelings, and needs, and then making clear requests, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Like, I have needs. I didn't even know I had needs other than like, I need food, I need sex, I need this, those aren't actually needs. They're like the intrinsic needs for respect, for connection. We are social creatures. We need to be in community with each other. And we also need autonomy. So we need time to ourselves. So there's like that balance, which is a form of unity. And one of my most kind of expansive ways and growthful ways that I've endeavored to learn is called circling, which is a way of communicating, which kind of is like NVC, where you talk about your feelings and needs and you share those things, as opposed to just talking about your ideas and your opinions and your thoughts and your fears and your beliefs, which can be kind of grounded in a form of social conditioning or your early life experiences or trauma that, have you feel like, everything is a threat, or those people are bad. You have these judgments, and they come from somewhere, I don't know where, but, there's a lot of good theories about where they might come from. But the point is that for me, being able to just like rest in this place of authenticity and kind of like speak from that, like from my own experience, like what's going on with me, and then sharing that. And then, if someone shares what is going on with them in an authentic way, I can like reflect that back or share with them what their words and what they express. It may not even be words. It just may be, something that is moving inside them and they're expressing some way. And I can share how that feels within my body, within my heart, and not just like my ideas and thoughts and opinions. So it gets a little tricky. Because I'm very caught up, conditioned, and I have habits of speaking about thoughts and beliefs and opinions. But to just say what is real for me, what I had this experience of by being with you, sort of like that joining with you in any particular moment, there's amazing alchemy in that, like a feeling of unity. But I don't give it that name, but I could if I wanted to. But I wanted to share, I hope you hear this in the right way. But as I was listening to the last song you did, and I was noticing that you were kind of struggling a little bit with some of the high notes, and I was just feeling this deep compassion for you and this like a joining with you when like, I knew you had to keep going, because that's what you got to do when you're in the middle of singing the song. And I'm just like, wow, she's aware of what's happening with her. And she's got, I was like really feeling into what your experience might be. And you just like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I just so joined with you in that. and like, I just felt really happy for you.
Thank you.
God, I just got overwhelmed. That was fun. Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Anyone else here in the sanctuary? Yes? Okay.
Wow. Any questions about why we don't love this place? It is my second home. Every time I drive here, sometimes I walk, and I think I should walk more. You know what's playing on NPR? Wait, don't tell me. So I also think I should leave earlier and drive around a while and listen to more of it. So I'm thinking of, wait, don't tell me. In the context of listening. And the other thing that comes up is last Sunday afternoon, I spent 4 hours at a memorial. And I just been spending 4 hours the week before at another memorial. But I realized the difference that each life makes and coming together and how we affect each other's life forever, because we do live mostly in each other's hearts and minds. I came up with that while I did a lot of memorials, and I went, well, I like that. I'm sticking with it. But this was for John Curliano, who was my first tennis coach when I started playing again at Franklin Park years ago. And we'd miss the ball sometimes, a lot. And you know what he said? Next time. So these are two phrases that are going through my mind this morning. Wait, don't tell me, as far as listening, and also for myself. And next time. And yesterday at my benefit, I found myself like space opens up. I think I don't have enough time. It's okay. Like the Course in Miracles says, we make with our ego and we create with God. So I'm always asking, okay, Divine Spirit, help me. And I just found myself puttering around and setting up. And I thought, well, Eduardo's going to come and he'll help me later. Well, he kind of forgot. So he and his wife came maybe only 20 minutes earlier. But I was just giving thanks that I found myself carrying the tables and chairs out in front and blah, blah, blah. And I never know how many people are going to come. Except this time, people did RSVP. They also brought chairs. I'm blown away. And we had over 40 people. And it was such a good sense of community. And then later when I was cleaning up after some of us went to dinner, I like to count money or count how much stuff I throw away, whatever. I kind of keep track of stuff. Maybe it's because my father was an accountant. I don't know, but I'm from piggy bank days. But yeah, I think by next Sunday, the third event, I think we're going to go over $1,000 already for Meals on Wheels, Food Bank, Homeless Network, and the Education Foundation. And I'm grateful. I never know how much is going to be raised. Every year it's been more, no matter whether we have the same number of events, and it seems like we're having fewer. But my friend Dwight is going to play with his band, his new band, and he's very spiritual. So there's just a wonderful reaching out, and I really want to live in as much gratitude as possible. And I believe that as we give thanks for what is, we open the door to more good coming toward us. So another Course in Miracles lesson. I don't know my own best interest, and I don't know what anything is for. Well, I think I kind of know what I'm doing, what it's for. But I wait and realize how much Spirit guides me every step, and guides everyone else. And I know I'm not alone. And God's angels do hover near and about us. Another Course in Miracles quotation that I love. And they're helping us. And I grew up with the definition of angels as God's thoughts passing to man and woman. So I invite all of us to keep listening for those inner messages, because that's going to tell us, no, don't go to that this day, or go to that this day. And lastly, I'm really grateful that I'm going to go and get my Alma hug tomorrow. So she says, my religion is love, compassion, and selfless service. So that's what I say my religion is. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else here in the sanctuary want to share before we open it up for our friends on Zoom? Anybody? All right, okay, let's hear from people on Zoom who would like to share about, and again, I'll repeat the question. How do we hold both diversity and unity at the same time in our community? Okay, David. I think you're, there you go.
Yeah. I think diversity and unity they may appear different, but it is one of those paradoxes where both exist simultaneously. And I'm not going to try to get into too many semantics about how one is different from the other or how one is similar. There is a lot of variety, and yet there are a lot of connections that we all have. I have tried to operate from an ongoing life experience of everything in the universe being connected. Sometimes I'm pretty good at that. Sometimes it gets washed away in the midst of crises and whatever else you want to call it. Right now, I I know that when I feel under threat or pressure, my response is usually not to want to isolate myself unless I'm really depressed and have a sense of I don't want to share that or spread that to everybody else. I have some kind of an idea that I can bring everybody down, but then everybody has their own thing to deal with, and I don't want to get lost in that. But I am particularly struck that when I am down, I wish to reach out, I wish to connect, which makes the community of the Home of Truth and the friends I'm blessed with very valuable to me. I think we do live in experiential paradoxes, I guess. We can experience separation and we can experience unity. I have always said that I want all of us to do well in the world because I recognize that we are all connected. I think survival depends on community and unity, especially right now with so much polarization and division. I have said this and I really try to practice this is I try to turn us versus them into us. Obviously, people have different ideas and different experiences and opinions of life. And obviously, there are things that we're not going to all agree on together. But I think it is valuable to try to find things that we can have in common, in unity, and to really just derail this idea of demonizing other people as different from us or them. And I don't want to go on rambling. I guess unity and diversity exist in their own separate spheres, but when you step back far enough, or at the same time, if you look close enough in, you can see the connectedness of everything that underlies. Again, I'm kind of going to the Home of Truth, one of the bywords. See, and I'm misquoting it, but so what? See the community that lies under all apparent differences. Indeed, the unity of all of our diversities, one spirit speaking in many different ways. For me, I will say unity is a very valuable thing. I do not, I have my own identity that I am living, of course. And right now it's kind of a scary time, and I've already talked about that, but I am grateful for the capacity to connect with other people. That is a valuable thing. So here's to unity for all of us. And I hope I made some kind of sense and sort of trying to find my way to the light like a lot of other people at times. Thank you, folks. I am done. Thank you.
Yes.
Ashe, thank you, David. All right, is there anybody else on Zoom who would like to share? All right, I think we've had a wonderful discussion, and we'll wrap this up, and I'll close us out with a prayer. Mother, Father, God, My heart is full of gratitude for all these beautiful shares and wonderful ideas and things to take home and think about, things to reflect on. How diversity both within ourselves and within our community adds value to our life. Just like if the whole world was monochromatic and there was only one color, it would look a lot different than it does now. But thankfully, there are so many colors. There are so many diverse expressions of your divinity, Spirit, that we get to taste and explore and experience and learn about and grow with. And what I know is that every person that I encounter has a gift for me, whether I immediately recognize it or not. But if I do as Cathy said and stay present with active, compassionate listening, I will receive that gift. And if I hear something that frightens me or doesn't match for me, I want to remember, as Cathy also suggested, that there might be a wounding that's happened in the heart of that other person. And can I look beyond that wounding to our oneness, to our common divinity, to the fact that we are all children of God? So I bless our time together in this conversation, this blessed and beautiful conversation. I am so grateful. We'll send another beam of love out to Reverend Jasmine for continued healing for her as we come together with gratitude in our hearts for a time to get to know each other in conversation. So please join me in saying thank you. Ashe. And so it is. Thank you, everyone.